Welcome to That's Based. Happy Wednesday. I'm your host, as always, Caleb Salvatore, reporting from somewhere underground. We're laughing our way through the end of days. Brought to you by Outlaw Streamers and our friends over at Blood of Tyrants Wines. Drink bloodofTyrants.com, promo code BASED, B-A-S-E-D, like the title of the show, will save you 10% off your order at the checkout. Drink bloodofTyrants.com, promo code BASED, B-A-S-E-D, like the title of the show, will save you 10% off your order at the checkout. 2 types of wine, red and white, along with the Liquid Freedom Energy Drink. Drink bloodofTyrants.com, promo code BASED, B-A-S-E-D, like the title of the show, will save you 10% off your order at the checkout. All right, well, it is WTF Wednesdays. We do this on the third Wednesday of every month. We take a break from politics and social commentary and targeting the demon from hell that we call a mayor here in my home city of Omaha, Nebraska. And we talk about, fun things, UFOs, ghosts, the paranormal, psychics, all that garbage out there that is still more believable than the idea that the streetcar is going to bring us economic prosperity here in Omaha. Stockholm Mia, the red face of white supremacy, is here with me as always on this fine WTF Wednesday. You picked the stories this week. What do we have? What's going on?
We've got a banana update.
Oh, is this the fruitcake?
Yeah.
Okay.
And our Loch Ness Monster story in there, of course.
Okay, and then we've got an Indian... Okay, all right, looks like a lot of fun stuff going on this week. We do have an update on a local story we covered a couple of weeks ago, was it last month or the month before, on WTF Wednesdays, about a local man in Bennington, Nebraska, who had been throwing trash into the street. And when people swerved to get out of the way, the same guy would show up and come to the rescue and try to get him to sit in the car with him while they waited for help to arrive. And a lot of people were scared of this guy, and somebody called. So one of the people that went on the news about it called in over the weekend to the news, left a voicemail saying, "Hey, I've changed my mind. I don't want this story on there. Can you please take it down?" The news calls the guy because they were out of the office on Monday, and they call him Monday morning, say, "Hey, why do you, what changed? Why do you want the story retracted?" And he said, I never called you. So they played him the video or the recording of it, and he's like, "That's not me talking." And not only is that not me talking, that sounds just like the guy I saw on the highway in the middle of the night. And so it's caused this huge spur. So they arrested a guy. They arrested a guy on several felony charges. They got a guy in his early 20s, and we have a face to the Bennington Phantom. So the case has been closed. No, we don't have a picture of it. The case has been closed, and you can all drive safely down the highway at night. Well, it hasn't been closed. This guy's alleged. He hasn't been convicted. Everyone gets their day in court. I want to get that guy and the guy from Fremont that was throwing the rocks at the medical helicopter as it tried to land on a podcast together. I want to interview both. I want both of them to interview me. How about that? I want to get those two together in a room, and we can all have a good old time. I can't wait for the... No, this won't get a Netflix show about it. This will be Lifetime. What do you think? Nobody got killed. Nobody got hurt.
Yeah, it's not Netflix material.
Yeah, so we'll get like a Lifetime out of this. A little 90-minute Lifetime movie about it. That's okay. Who do you think will play the guy? What are you doing?
Someone is driving backwards down the street.
Are they in our driveway?
No.
Then it's not my business. I don't care. Let people do what they want. He probably has a reason. Like maybe he's too drunk to drive straight. Have you ever considered that? Sometimes people out there just have they had a few too many, and the backup camera helps them keep a straight line. I've never been there myself, but I try not to judge others because you have no idea what they've gone through in their personal lives. So we do like the Bennington Road Phantom, the Bennington Highway Phantom. We don't know what that guy's been through, do we? I mean, what kind of trauma? Because that's the word we use nowadays, right? Is trauma. That's the word we use to that and astrology, the planets. We use those two things for excuses for all of the bullshit we do. Not me. I take full accountability for the shitty actions I I've done in my life and the ones I'll continue to do as I get older. But no, we use trauma. So what kind of trauma do you think the Bennington Highway Phantom had, Mia? Do you think he had any trauma growing up?
He probably lived in a nice house out in the suburbs, lived the perfect life, and then just screwed himself up.
Drugs? Well, so they alleged, one of the commenters on Facebook alleged that the Bennington Highway Phantom had been banned due to multiple instances of vandalism at a Casey's gas station. So I want to know. I want to see the camera footage. I want to know, does the guy just show up and start knocking over shelves or something? What's he doing at Casey's? And what is his beef with Casey's that's led to multiple alleged instances of vandalism, which got him banned and barred from the establishment, allegedly? What led to that? That's what I want to know about this guy. I think that would be fun. I think that would be a fun way to spend the show. If we just watch the CCTV footage of this guy destroying a Casey's. What do you think he went for at the Casey's? That's your favorite gas station, isn't it? She just gave me a nasty look.
No, QT.
Casey's is kind of trashy. It's it's good for people in towns of 400. But no, if you're in the city and you're going, or anywhere near the city and you're going to a Casey's, you've made a mistake. You really have. I've seen people pull guns at Casey's multiple times.
The thing with Casey's is they bought out all the Buc-ee's.
The Buc-ee's.
So they're everywhere now.
I know. And this...
Not the, cool Buc-ee's.
No.
With, the chipmunk.
No. Buc-ee's without the E. Yeah. Yeah, Casey's is just a shit gas station. And this week's episode is brought to you by Quick Trip. Quick Trip, Omaha's favorite gas. No, I'm kidding. Okay, let's go to the stories here. What do we got? Bird drops human hand in Irish schoolyard. Happy St. Patrick's Day. That's how they celebrate over there now. So here's my question. Do you think the Irish hand that got dropped in the schoolyard still had a bottle of booze attached to it? That's the big question here. Authorities in Ireland found themselves investigating a rather macabre mystery following the discovery of a severed human hand that was dropped into a schoolyard by a bird. According to a local media report, the strange find occurred Friday afternoon at Our Lady Immaculate School in the Dublin suburb of Darndale. Alerted to the peculiar situation by someone who stumbled upon the hand outside the building, cops were understandably curious as to how it wound up there in the first place. Any fears that the limb may have been left behind by a sloppy serial killer were soon alleviated when security footage showed that a bird was responsible for its presence on the property. While the hand is currently being subjected to DNA analysis, police suspect the mystery surrounding the creepy discovery may ultimately be short-lived. That's because the evening before the severed limb was found, a 12-year-old boy was badly injured in an explosion. The timing of the two of them... How did they just gloss over the 12-year-old that got blown up? Are the troubles back in Ireland? Do we have more car bombs going on over there that I didn't know about? We got all the paragraphs about the bird, and then it just casually goes, oh, yeah, by the way, a 12-year-old got blown to smithereens. They didn't even bother to go pick up his limbs that were lying all over the ground. The bird picked it up. We're just going to gloss over that story. Authorities believe that it's likely it belonged to the unfortunate youngster. The case in Ireland is not the first time a bird in possession of human body parts sparked a police outrage, as a similar incident occurred in Turkey 2 years ago when a cow deposited a black penis. No, I'm kidding. Deposited a thumb and an index finger in a gas station parking lot. See that? How much you want to bet that gas station was a Casey's, where you got cows taking shits in the parking lot? Yeah. So I feel I do want to know what happened to the 12-year-old that got blown to pieces, though. That's the more interesting part of the story that isn't even mentioned here. And they didn't even bother, hey, let's go pick him up. It's just, nope. What kind of shithole are they living in over in Ireland there? Okay, let's go to the next one. Food fanatics flock to Chinese funeral home for fantastic noodle dish. You know how I hate alliterations. And you did this to me again. Because you knew the anger that this would cause. Said food lovers in China have been swarming a funeral home said to serve a fantastic noodle dish that has become so desired people are pretending to be mourners just to get a taste. Yeah, they use the bodies to make it. They run them through a little processor. Says the Erlong Funeral Home in Guizhou province. Hey, you know what? It's a step up from dogs, okay? Is reportedly at the center of the strange frenzy that began when a social media influencer mentioned trying the delicious offering, which is already something of a local sensation. The odd recommendation quickly went viral among Chinese foodies as others confirmed the peculiar review. The queue for food is longer than the queue to lay flowers for the deceased. One social media user marveled, lamenting that I didn't get to eat the noodles because my friend's mom didn't know anyone who was holding a funeral service. So you have to, like, someone you know has to die in order for you to get these noodles. So they're literally to die for. In order to get these noodles at this restaurant in China, someone has to die. So what do you do? What do you do if no one you know dies?
Well, that's the thing, is they're pretending to know the people that have died.
Oh, I thought couples were like, all right, honey, let's try for a girl. Because, you know, they kill girls in China. Dark humor. Dark humor. Like, all right, let's have our third kid so we can go get those noodles. You know, it says that particular individual exercised a commendable level of decorum. Others have not been so polite in their quest to try the noodle dish that is served at the funeral home's canteen, meant for mourners and not the public. There have been people pretending to be relatives of the deceased, one worker complained. Now, here's my thing. I'm not justifying this. But once upon a time, when I was 19 years old, I'm not proud of this. I shouldn't even be admitting this, probably. When I was 19 years old, 1920, fresh out of high school, and we were broke, my friends and I would... Should I admit to this on air? I mean, it's not anything I go to jail for. It's just something people are going to view me in a different light after they find out I did it. So we would drive around like May and June, graduation season, and we would hit up graduation parties pretending to be distant cousins of the graduates. We usually get lunch and dinner out of it for like 3 weekends in a row. Sometimes you get a little brisket, burgers, hot dog. I mean, it was something. You're lucky they were, doing ribs or steaks or something like that. Some pasta salad. You pull up. It was a good old time. Cookies, cake, distant relatives. Nobody asked any questions. You get in, you get the food, you get out. So I understand where these people are coming from. That's all I'm saying. You never did that? You never lied about being related to people so you could eat their food at the graduation party?
Never did that and never had that thought before.
One time we got caught. So the next one we went to, we all got little envelopes. We didn't put a card or a gift or anything in them, but we brought the envelopes and we just drop them in the gift thing so we would be a little bit more inconspicuous when we walked in. So that they wouldn't suspect anything. Who are these guys that showed up without leaving a gift? We looked like we blended in. That's a key to life, guys. If you walk and talk like you're supposed to be somewhere, 99% of people won't ask any questions. That's how Mia snuck into Area 51 with her dad. Wasn't it? Didn't you guys try to get into Area 50? Or no, you asked him if you could get into Area 51, and he said, no, they'll shoot us.
Yes, I asked, and then he took me as far as we would be able to.
Did you get harassed?
No, because as far as you would, be able to go is just, a sign that says, the military thing.
Oh,
if
okay.
you go any farther than that, then you're, going out into the desert, which is where it is.
They won't shoot you. They'll come up and they'll sternly tell you to turn around. And if you give them any problems, then they might shoot you. But it says it's hard to tell them apart when it gets crowded and it's hard to manage. The curious craze has proven to be so overwhelming for the funeral home that they have actually opted to give away 50 noodle dishes every day to the throngs of visitors, provided that they do not affect people's mourning. I mean, could you imagine your loved one died? Let's say it like wasn't an old person. It's this tragic death. Your husband's 43 years old. He died this horrible accident at work on the job. You have no life insurance. You had to start an OnlyFans account to pay for his funeral services. And this jackass hipster Zoomer that saw this viral video on TikTok is sitting here laughing like an idiot while he eats these fucking noodles during the worst day of your life. Could you imagine that? I mean, truly. You know, social media really has ruined all those little hole in the wall spots that nobody knew about, because they make them go viral. They do. You get one jackass with a camera, goes in, makes a TikTok video. It gets 80,000 views locally, and the place just blows up. And at one point, it was a place that only 13 of us knew about, and we were all single-handedly keeping it in business. You know, the owner had some shady day job where he'd go sell, like, used boats or something like that, just to keep his family afloat. But damn it, we got that food quick and nobody else knew about it. It was a quiet little spot. And then you guys had to go out and make it go viral and ruin it for everybody, for all of us. And now the guy's kid's in fucking private school and he's quit the job at the boat dealership and he's too good for us. You've ruined the vibe. I hate you. Can I have a drink of that? I'm thirsty. I just chugged like a gallon of water before I started. I'm still thirsty.
Did you tell everyone about our guest in the room?
Oh, our new-ish dog Apollo is in the room with us because he's a basket case who can't be left alone for 30 minutes without having a total meltdown. You've probably heard him howling in the basement on the show. We finally decided not to crate him while we recorded. All right, we've got an update, as promised, on the British banana phantom. The guy's been leaving his bananas out, just a plate full of bananas. Wasn't it in front of a church? Was that in front of a church once a month in England? He's back. Do you think he ever teams up with the asparagus psychic? Says the case of the British banana phantom took an unexpected turn over the weekend when the elusive individual placed March's offering at an entirely different location. Oh, we switched the location up? So the mystery first came to light in January when it was revealed that somebody had been placing a plate of the peeled fruit at a specific street corner in the town of Beeston on the second day of every month throughout the last year. Despite the story making worldwide headlines, the Phantom managed to outwit those awaiting February's ritual by depositing the fruit offerings a day early, making the past weekend the latest chance to possibly spot the person in action. So now he knows he's a star. This is like a rush this guy gets now, right? This is like trying to hide presents from your kids on Christmas kind of thing. It says, however, they once again avoided detection with a significant change in tactics. I don't know. Why even say they? You know this is a man. There ain't no woman alive that's wasting her time doing this shit. This is something a guy's doing. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. A woman will stalk you and ruin your life and burn your house to the ground. But only a man is pranking an entire town with bananas. It says, according to a local media report, when the sun rose over Beeston Sunday morning, it was initially believed that the Phantom's weird ritual had ended as there was no plate of peeled bananas at the street corner where they had been ritually placed every month. Maybe they caught him. They caught him and they threw him in jail. Like, no more of this for you. It says, while resident Matt Thompson expressed somewhat melancholy feelings about the latest turn of events, he conceded that I don't know whether to be sad about it, since the reason for the recurring offerings remains a mystery. His tepid dismay was echoed by another community member who mused, it's not the end of the world, but I was looking forward to seeing the prank on my morning walk. Fortunately for Beeston residents, does no one in this town have a Ring camera? You could never do this in any American neighborhood. Not in the city. You would be caught immediately. Immediately. I think I'm going to start doing this in our neighborhood. Where should I leave it? I can't leave it in front of the school. I'll be on a watch list. Where should I leave it in our neighborhood?
At the end of the street over there.
Down there? Huh. That's a long walk, though.
Or in front of the guy who keeps track of everybody.
That's you.
No, the old guy.
That's you now. He's passed the torch on to you. How many? The audience knows it. I'm not just blowing smoke here. I have evidence. Every time at least once a week, we'll be sitting here recording the show. I'll say, what are you doing? And you're watching what the neighbors are watching on TV through the window.
I can't help it that their TV is right there.
People like you are the reason I close the blinds.
Oh, I open them. I open them back up.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, if I want to be nosy, I feel like it's only fair that
I don't want anyone to be nosy. I want everyone to mind their own business and never speak to each other. That's the way neighborhoods are supposed to be in 2025. It says, fortunately for Beeston residents fearful that the Phantom had forsaken them, it was subsequently learned that this was not the case, as Sunday evening brought news that the bananas had actually turned up on time, but in a different location than where previous offerings had been made. Amusingly, the peeled fruit had largely gone unnoticed during the day because nobody was expecting to find them in the new neighborhood. It was only later that someone spotted the bananas and realized that the Phantom had changed the proverbial game, with the mysterious individual having once again pulled off the prank for yet another month. Residents of Beeson and the rest of us following the weird case must wait until April to see what happens. Well, I can't wait. And we are going to be here chronicling this every single month until they catch this son of a bitch and they hang him in the town square like he deserves. Right, Mia?
Yes.
Because I'm tired.
I will get an update every month.
Do you think? What do you think will happen to him when they catch him?
I think they'll give him like a little,
Like an interview?
like award thing. They'll host because it seems like a small town.
That's literally all they got going on.
Yeah.
That's literally all they got going on. He's the smoking bandit. He's their version from King of the Hill. There's a lot of King of the Hill references on this show because she's watched the series front to back 27 times.
Oh, way more than 27.
More than 27?
Way
You
more.
know it by heart. You know what I noticed? John Redcorn's the only one they call by his first and last name. They've never once just called him John. It's always John Redcorn. And we all know people like that. That we never refer to them as just their first name. Have you noticed that? You don't know anyone that we've never Chris Baker? Duh. People we know that we only refer to as their first and last name. I don't know why. That's just how it goes. All right, Indian man arrested for misguided tiger hoax. Maybe he's in cahoots with the banana bandit. Says an Indian man finds himself in trouble with the law after he faked a tiger sighting that sparked panic in a village. That's what I'm going to do in our neighborhood. I'm going to fake a tiger sighting. Fake a tiger sighting. According to a local media report, the strange case occurred last week when Jaron Abraham took to social media with a video of what he claimed was a big cat roaming around the town of, I'm not going to try to pronounce that. The footage of the feline was subsequently broadcast on several television stations, raising concerns among residents of the community, understandably fearful of encountering the ferocious creature. However, when authorities looked into the worrisome matter, they quickly determined that it was all a misguided hoax. So this reminds me when that clown thing was going around. Remember that? What was that, 2016? 2016, I think. You had the clown stuff. It was right before It came out, the remake. And everybody was dressing up as clowns and terrorizing people. And you had all these viral social media videos. People were getting attacked. I think one of the clowns even got shot at or something like that. And there were threats. My brother was in high school. And there were threats that a clown was going to come shoot the school up. So a picture got shared around social media, or it got texted around the school, of a clown in the neighborhood directly across the main street from the school. So my brother was like an athlete, played in like 2-3 different sports. He was one of the popular kids, right? So he had a bunch of the followers on Twitter. And back when, the kids got on Twitter. And he posts this picture to his Twitter account, and it spreads like wildfire almost immediately. And it was photoshopped. It was a hoax. So my mom got called down to the school because my brother was sharing shooting hoaxes, and he didn't do it with any type of malice, but he still got everybody riled up. So that's what this reminds me of. It says wildlife officials investigating the case initially grew suspicious when they visited the location, found no tiger tracks nor any security footage that could confirm the creature's presence at the time of the sighting. A closer examination of the footage that sparked the panic found it had actually been posted on YouTube 3 years ago, and that he had simply repurposed the video on his own social media account. Presented with the evidence uncovered by authorities, Abraham admitted to faking the sighting that had likely gotten far more attention than anticipated. The hoaxer was subsequently arrested for triggering public panic and misleading officials engaged in emergency services in the area. I don't know. I feel like the Indian government has other crimes they could go after, like the gang rapes that happen over there. I don't know. I think that would be a good priority. With that said, do you know what I just realized? Mia, do you know what I just realized? We're in a new neighborhood, and I haven't even trolled Nextdoor here. I haven't even started any hoaxes on Nextdoor. So I'm going to drop a comment on YouTube or Rumble if you're listening. If you're in that space with Caleb Salvatore Facebook group, let us know, what hoax should I terrorize my neighborhood with on Nextdoor? And the best one, we'll send you some free merch or something like that if you give us the address. I don't know. We'll figure it out. If we decide to roll with it, let us know. I want, because this is a hobby of mine. Every time I move, I troll Nextdoor until I'm banned. I just rile people up on the Nextdoor app. It's a good old time. It's a good old time. All right, well, it's time for the last one. And this reminds me, our producer, Tim Davis, sent me a text message a couple weeks ago of a Loch Ness sighting. Sent me a picture of a log in the lake, and he said, look, it's Nessie. And I was like, oh, you've been watching the webcam, haven't you? All right, says a compelling photo of a dark shape seen in the waters of Loch Ness may be the first on-location sighting of the legendary monster in 2025. I mean, the fact that people still do this is impressive. This is impressive. If any other hobby yielded you such few results, you would have stopped years ago. Like, imagine if you were like, I'm going to start doing golf. And 12 years later, you haven't gotten any better at golf. You'd probably stop. What are other hobbies that people do? I'm drawing a blank here. You guys get the picture. Anything else? It says the remarkable image was reportedly revealed by the Loch Ness Center tourist attraction on Tuesday, although they did not specify the date of the sighting nor the identity of the witness who submitted the image. They indicated the mysterious submerged form was observed for several minutes from Doris Beach along with the shore of Loch Ness, calling the case particularly captivating. The Loch Ness Center general manager, Nagina Ishak, I mean, that just sounds like a Scottish name right there. Nagina Ishak. Nagina Ishak noted that the conditions on the day of this sighting were absolutely perfect. In sharing the image, the attraction asserted that the peculiar picture had been examined by unnamed experts who apparently gave it their proverbial seal of approval before it was released. Well, I'm glad it got their seal of approval. I'm really glad that got their seal of approval. This could very well be our first significant sighting of the year, Ishak marveled. Oh, this is the one Tim sent me. However, that classification could ultimately be up for debate as the case has yet to receive recognition from the official Loch Ness Monster Sightings Register. Now, so we have the experts that give it. So there's like a process here, right? An approval process. First, it gets cited by one of these amateurs on a webcam or at the Loch Ness Center or whatever. And then it has to go to a bunch of experts for their approval. They'll take a look at it, but it's not official until it goes through the official Loch Ness Monster Sightings Register. So once it's there, we're good to go. It has been the standard bearer for such accounts for nearly 30 years. Be that as it may, the image is undeniably compelling and suggestive of something strange lurking in Loch Ness. This is a wave. That's all this is. This is a wave.
No, it's Nessie.
This is their big hope for the year. Brother, go talk to girls. For God's sake. This isn't even a log. This is a wave that they caught at the right camera angle and the right time in the right time. That's all this is. Oh my God. How many of the guys do you think that do this for a hobby are married?
0.
None. Somehow they're like, if you look at like the UFO guys, they all have wives, right? They may not be the most attractive, but they all have wives. Somehow, these guys have found a significantly less attractive hobby than dedicating your life to UFOs. So let's rank the paranormal hobbies from least to most cringy. Okay, you ready? Loch Ness Monster, Bigfoot Hunter, Ghost Hunter, Ufologist, Psychic. Go.
From like 1 to 5?
One being the... Okay, so start from 5 to 1. 5 being the least cringy, 1 being the most cringy.
Ufologist.
Is 5?
Yeah.
Yeah, because there could be like some aerospace, like beyond just aliens interest
there.
They're
actually like, yeah. So I'd say that. Second one would be Ghost Hunter.
Yeah.
Third one, maybe Bigfoot, because I feel like a lot of people go like hunting for Bigfoot as like a joke. You know?
Yeah, it's kind of like a camping thing. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Where it's like, ooh, it's Bigfoot. Like if we see him, we see him, but they just want to fuck around and get drunk with their buddies.
Yeah.
So we got psychics and Loch Ness webcam watchers. And then if there's any honorable mentions, we'll throw them in at the end.
I'm gonna go Loch Ness Monster, then Psychic, because psychics fuck up other people's lives.
That's true. They scam people. They're the worst. They really are. I mean, I was going to throw astrologers in for like an honorable mention, but does that kind of fall under the psychic umbrella?
Yeah.
So the tarot cards and all that crap falls under the psychic umbrella. That really is the cringiest. I mean, the first 4, they're nerdy and weird and whatever, but the psychics are legit. The Crystal Girls are a national security threat. We need to throw them all in Guantanamo Bay. I'm 100% serious. What? The world would be a whole lot. I'll tell you what, there'd be a whole lot less single mothers out there if we threw all the Crystal Girls in Guantanamo Bay. That's all I'm going to say.
There'd be a lot more single fathers.
There would be a whole lot of single fathers out there. Well, they're probably already single fathers. They just would be raising them on their own now. Okay. All right, that's enough. Look, I'm just saying, fellas. You walk into a room, you see that big old tapestry, and you know exactly what tapestry blanket I'm talking about because it's in all the memes. I don't even have to show a picture of it. You walk into her room after a night out at the bar, you see that tapestry, you get the fuck out of there. That is not a problem you want. All right, that has been our show. We will see you guys on Saturday. We're going to be rolling out a brand new parody song as long as everything goes according to plan. Hopefully this one doesn't get me shot. Cheat on your taxes, not your spouse, and stay based.